What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and I'm here in Benedict Canyon at the Sheats-Goldstein house, one of the most revered homes on the planet, a home as unique as it is enthralling. And I'm here with Jim Goldstein, icon, mogul, and owner of Sheats-Goldstein, who shepherded this home from stunning to world class.
All right, let's go.
Technically located in the neighborhood of Beverly Crest, the home was designed and built by John Lautner between 1961 and 1963. The home was conceived from the inside out and built into the sandstone ledge of the hillside, a cave-like dwelling that opens to embrace nature and the view. It operates as an extension of the natural environment. Now, it's important to note that John Lautner was one of the most important American architects in the 20th century, but also one of the most misunderstood. His googie and atomic age architecture was simply too forward-thinking for many critics of the time. But his career spanned 55 years, and it's left an indelible mark on Los Angeles and the world. But it was Paul Sheats, a UCLA dean, and his wife Helen Taylor Sheats, an artist, who commissioned Lautner to create the home in Beverly Crest. Paul and Helen had previously commissioned Lautner to build the Sheats apartments in Westwood in 1949, another abstract, futuristic, harmonious, organic-feeling project that was a precursor to the Sheats home. And the home was conceived of as high art from the very beginning, with immense artistic input from Helen Taylor Sheats. The home was described as a cliff-hanging shock. The windows were described as watery murals, as the home was built on several levels with corners of every sized angle and no right angles. The living room was separated by the hillside with only a heat wall to keep the outside outside. The master bedroom was at the bottom level, and there was no access to the master without taking an outdoors hillside walk. Construction was such a marvel that UCLA students, professional builders, and designers would actually come to the home during construction to watch the modern masterpiece being built. But the Sheats moved out of the home and sold it within a few years, and the new owners let the house fall into a little bit of neglect, listing the home in 1968 for only $119,500, below the original cost of $200,000. The next year, the home went for sale again at the same price, with a modest listing that simply said high ceilings, lot of glass. 1971, it went on the market again, this time at least known as the famous Sheats house, and it was selling for $250,000. And by 1972, that's when the young, stylish icon-to-be James Goldstein bought and moved into the home. The house was in a state of disrepair, so Goldstein reached back out to John Lautner to commission him to work on a complete transformation of the home while still maintaining its original design ethos. Over the course of the next few decades, along with Duncan Nicholson, who worked with Lautner, Goldstein perfected the house and added some touches of his own. What Goldstein, Lautner, and Nicholson did with the home is nothing short of amazing. They were able to modernize and update the home while keeping most of the original structure intact. And by 2002, when the house next door, also designed by Lautner and also in disrepair, went for sale, Goldstein purchased that and was able to demolish it to expand upon his dream and his vision. Modernizing and adding space while still staying true to Lautner's vision was Goldstein's goal. The expansion of the home is quite simply magnificent. One of my favorite aspects is the landscaping, so intense, so lush, with all these paths and stairways to just explore this expansive property. Feels like you're on vacation, really. And the views from almost every angle are just beautiful. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Club James, which, by the way, features a tennis court, the only infinity tennis court in the world. And it's an actual club with some of the best events in all of LA, including top-notch Super Bowl parties. And even though the home has been featured in many movies and TV shows, including one of my favorite all-time, Big Lebowski, David Spencer of Talent Resources Sports is making sure that Club James and the Goldstein Sheats residence is staying relevant well into the 21st century. It's also important to note that in 2016, Goldstein announced that he would be donating the home and its contents to LACMA, the first architectural acquisition of its kind by the museum, and ensuring that future generations of people from Los Angeles and the world would enjoy and appreciate this architectural masterpiece. So thank you to Jim Goldstein for allowing me to film this episode of the Sheats-Goldstein house. This is an exceptional example of homegrown architecture, a cultural legacy that was ahead of its time, just like the city in which it's located, Los Angeles, and just like its owner, Jim Goldstein. Thank you so much, Jim.
It's my pleasure.
All right, LA, it's been a minute.